I keep giving bad people good ideas.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're doing a little commentary. A few months ago, I talked about this whole David situation. I made a couple videos. Again, I'm not trying to melt the situation, but I do find it kind of interesting. Not try and say that in like a fucked up way, but like this kind of shit is like once in a generation, maybe a couple times, where you're gonna have some crazy nut job dumb enough to do some dumb shit like this. And I do think it's kind of interesting in the aspect of like, why would they do some kind of shit like this? What were the motives? And honestly, I feel like a part of me, with all the fucked up shit that happened in this case, I do kind of want to, like most people, I kind of want to know the truth in a sense. Even if I wasn't like a huge fan of David or whatever the fuck, I do think, again, he should be held up for his crimes, and we should at least know the truth of what went down, and then kind of just lock his ass up, or just, give him the good old little ejection. But besides that, it just gets more fucked up because, again, my last couple videos, my first one was like the initial, like when everything was announced, but not really like how fucked up it was. It was more like, oh, David had a body found in his car, blah blah blah. Then the second one was like when he actually finally got arrested, because he was kind of on like a house arrest, or I don't know, some weird kind of like limbo in the beginning. Well, they couldn't really follow up straight up arrest him, but they were planning on it. But yeah, no. I'm like, am I gonna sneeze? I hope not, because then that just fucks up the whole recording. My silent, it's like every time I want to make a video, especially like whenever I make a video on this topic, like the first video was fine. Second one, I was sick as fuck, so the audio is low-key fucking dog shit in that video. But pretty much, yeah, no, I do just think it's one of the craziest fucking situations, because, again, to kind of do a little recap real quick, because I feel like a lot of people already kind of know what happened, but pretty much David was a, musician, whatever, or a singer, and pretty much, he blew up on the internet. He was making his own music and shit. It's actually kind of funny, because he tried to become a Fortnite pro, but I guess he was like dog shit at Fortnite, so, he switched to music, and making his own music and shit, and throughout that, he grew a huge fan base and shit, and did it actually pretty quickly. He was actually set up pretty well if he was a fucking idiot, but again, he is a fucking idiot. But in the process of that, he somehow got in contact with this girl named Celeste, and it's honestly fucked, because it like dates back, if you like think about the whole like relationship, how long it was, or how long they had contact. I think it dates back to when she was like fucking 9 or some shit, so, or 10 or some crazy shit. But either way, when she was like around 12 or 13, again, young as fucking shit, that's when the more fucked up, weird, crazy shit that we hear about in the case now started happening. But again, they have, like, I said this in my last video, sorry for sniffling so much, but they have like 40 terabytes worth of shit against this motherfucker. If you think about it, GTA is like 100 gigabytes, that's like 10 GTAs per 1 terabyte, they have 40. They have like 400 GTAs worth of fucking, you're cooked, buddy. And, you can kind of assume what kind of evidence they would have against them, but now they have gone more in detail of like, this is like sexual pictures of him, videos of him and her doing sexual shit, just weird, nudes and all that kind of shit. And it's like, but Buddy's just cooked, completely. Like, I don't know, I feel honestly kind of bad being his defense team. Honestly, I would just put up the white towel and just call it a day, but they don't. And they come up with weird excuses, and obviously since this is such a damaging and crazy case and there's so much evidence, they just try to avoid certain shit that they obviously know that, okay, buddy, you're going to jail for this. Sorry, we can't do shit. And they just try and make these, like, crazy, weird what-ifs. Like, one of their defenses is, like, well, she could have been holding the knife that stabbed her. Number one, you gotta be kind of crazy to stab yourself. It's really, really painful. And you could be like, well, she could have been depressed enough or just in this mind state to do it. But it's one thing to, like, you know, be like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and then to actually do it. Like, you gotta have some shit snap in you. And honestly, I don't feel like Celeste would have had that happen. You know, it's more like psychological shit you're born with, or again, years of torment. And again, we don't know what was going on exactly. But again, I don't think she pulled a knife and stabbed herself. But either way, the point I'm trying to make is you have these natural, like, instincts besides, oh, if I stick myself with a knife, it's gonna be bad. Oh, it's gonna hurt. You know, that's like common sense. But even if you took your, like, self, like, took the knife and, you know, did it, whatever, there's some, you know, your nerves, whatever, everything firing in your brain, like, ow, that hurt, don't do that before you even, you know, puncture anything. It's just so much shit where it's just like, that's just so almost unbelievable to, and again, when they announced that, a lot of people kind of looked around like, these dumbasses. But either way, they'll try and, like, scramble for any little piece of leverage, like the example I just gave. And again, I just think this whole thing is just fucking crazy, because now, there's just more detail of, like, how bad it was. It was, like, not just, like, just a decomposing body, but it was like chunks of decomposing bodies, and not bodies, but body. But you know, get what I'm saying. It wasn't a whole body, it was like chunks and shit. And it was like weird too, because it was like each limbs were separated. It's honestly fucked up, especially if you think it was someone who was like 13 years old. Then, also on top of that, she had this tattoo on her ring finger that said David and shit on it. And then I guess she might have had another tattoo. I don't know. But I know she had that one tattoo on her finger. And either way, he cut off her fingers and saved them as a fucking souvenir. That finger specifically. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're just gonna have it as a keychain. Like, what the fuck you doing, buddy? And it's like, dude, they put yourself in this situation in the first place where you're cutting off little girls' fingers and keeping them. Like, how fucked up do you gotta be? And, like, what the fuck? I don't even get it. And then what's crazy, too, is if you look into his music, it's weirdly kind of like a confession. And it's just like, what in the fuck do we got going on here? And it's just crazy because, like, again, I've said this in past videos and stuff, and I know this isn't everything, but these people, it blows my mind that they throw everything out the window when they have generational wealth right around the corner. They have all these great opportunities to live possibly, you know, at the top echelon of life and not really have to worry about shit. And, you know, enjoy what they're doing and almost have it not even feel like a job, or just have it be, you know, something kind of easy where they can kind of almost just shit out money. And they just throw that all away. And especially David for, like, what? To hook up with some 13-year-old, to have that all that shit to backfire, and then have you try to do damage control by chopping her up into little pieces, and then being like, oh, I don't know what happened, and then, you know, get caught anyways. It just... And it just is sad too, because again, the person was so fucking young with all of this. And, again, I don't know when I'm going to really come back to this and talk about this again. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to milk this, but again, whenever those kind of bigger updates, I guess, on this case, I do want to try and, you know, talk about it, because again, this is something that I do find a little interesting in the sense of, like, what the fuck happened, and, you know, wanting to know the truth. And then also, it's just like, what possessed him? Or what made him in the brightest idea in his head to think, okay, I'm gonna have a relationship with someone younger, and then even some of these questions we're never gonna really figure out, to be honest. But sorry, I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. But like, also like, why did he kill her? Was it like a pure disagreement, or was it like some crazy like thing he cooked up in his mind, and it was some like on some sacrifice shit? Like, what really happened? And a lot of people are pointing out that it was just a relationship went sour. He didn't want his career to get jeopardized, so try to get rid of the evidence. And he fucking, attempted that and did a terrible job at it. And I'm glad he did, because, again, in reality, I'm glad he never got away with this. Even though we had to unravel fucked up shit. And, I feel bad for people that have to look through these pictures of the body and shit like that. And even the evidence of, like, all the fucked up videos and shit that I said earlier. But I'm glad this has to all unravel for him, to face justice. If that's rot in a jail cell forever, or even he is on trial, or he could be on trial for the death penalty, possibly, if they do want to push that. Again, we're more in the we're more in the preliminary. I can't say the word, but I think you know what I mean. But we're more in the hearing part of shit, or the preliminary hearing part of shit. I know that's probably not how you say the word, but close enough, fuck it. But we're more in the beginning parts. It hasn't really hit trial yet, but they're pretty much unraveling all the evidence and what they have on the table to push it into, hey, this is a legit trial, and this needs to go to trial. So again, we'll see how all that goes, and the restrictions and the shit that they have set for him. But I think bro's cooked. I honestly don't know coming back from this. And I don't know. It'd be interesting if he just gets thrown in Gen Pop, or if they just throw his ass in solitary confinement, which they'll probably just throw his ass in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. But again, that's probably it for today's video. I feel bad for the parents, all the shit, the family. But yeah, no, it's one of the most fucked up, I don't know how to explain it. It's one thing to just kill someone and then be found for it, but to have the body so decomposed or chopped up, all this crazy shit. And why I kind of don't want to make non-stop videos about this is because I do feel a little repetitive in these videos, but it's just, I don't know how it's just what I don't. The biggest end of all of this is why. There's just so many whys. But at the end of all of this, comment down below what you guys kind of think about all of this, and your guys' kind of predictions or stuff like that. And honestly, I just kind of hope, at the end of the day, he faces justice for all this shit. And yeah, I think, again, this is probably going to be the last video I make for a while talking about this, unless, again, some crazy shit does end up happening. But yeah, no, yeah, it's just so fucked up. And to know those 40 terabytes worth of fucking evidence against him, videos, photos, all this shit. You gotta think how, if you know computer storage and storage, that is insane. Especially for videos, depending how big the videos are. Especially for photos, that has to be a lot of photos, because photos do not take a lot of space. Most videos don't usually either. It's honestly just disgusting, but I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.